Look who's back. Hi, all my needling hookers out there. Seems like it's been a while since we've seen each other, but I'm glad you could make it, and I've got a lot in store for you on this video. We're going to start out by letting you know that everything's going well. I'm not quite settled in yet, still looking to get back to work and get a place, but in the meantime, I thought I'd try to put up another video and give you guys some exciting things to look at. First of all, how's everybody doing? I hope everybody had a wonderful holiday. Hope everybody so far has had a good, safe 2021. Getting this virus under control, I hope, with all the vaccines and all that mess up. But you know what? Hey, we do what we got to do, right? We just go with the flow and hope for the best, because this is going to be a good year. Anyway, to start out with, we've got a few shout outs. I would like to give a shout out, first of all, to a new yarn shop, mostly knitting, but they do some crochet, that I found here close by me, about maybe 12-15 minutes away. And it is called Clinch River Yarns. And it is located in Clinton, Tennessee. And it is owned by a mother and daughter. Sandy is the mom, Robin is the daughter. And Robin also has an Etsy shop. She's not only a yarn dyer and dyes her own yarns, spectacular yarns, you've got to check these out. And she's also a spinner, so she spins her own yarns and has all of her yarns available in her Etsy shop, which is called Just a Girl and Her Dog Yarn. What a cute name. Is that a cute name or what? Anyway, I'll have a link down in the description box for her Etsy shop, so you can check that out. Please go visit her. She's got a lot of wonderful yarns, beautiful colors. And I will also put a link to Clinch River Yarns so that you can check out the shop and see what they have available. Discovering this shop, I was also wanting to acquire a new set of metal knitting needles now that I'm furthering my knitting skills. And so I started Googling for yarn shops near me, and this is how I found Clinch River Yarns. And I went over there, and sure enough, she has a wonderful selection. I will show you the needles later in the video, but I purchased a set of Haya Haya. They're stainless steel with sharp tips. They're 5-inch needle tips. They're interchangeable, so it's an interchangeable set. Came with a case. So on my first visit to the shop, Sandy informed me they were going to be having their semi-annual sale in a couple of days. So yesterday, which was Monday the 10th, I went over there and took a look. I got some books, mostly hardcover, slightly used, but they look like they're brand new. Books were $3. And I will let you know the original price on those when I show them. And we're going to do a little review on them. And I also bought some yarn. Some first time of buying high-end quality yarn. I bought some merino wool. I bought some alpaca. And so I'm going to start knitting a couple of projects that I found some patterns for. One being a Stephen West. It's a ribbed dickie. So it's ribbed on the collar and comes down. Wear it under a jacket or a sweater. And I will include a picture of that so you can kind of see what I'm going to be working on. I've got some WIPS to share with you. And for those of you that are new to the fiber arts community, beginning crocheters or knitters, if you don't know what a WIP is, it's not something that you crack at the horse, okay? A WIP is simply a work in progress. And an FO, so if I say FO, that basically is a finished object. So I have some FOs to share with you today. I've got some WIPs to share with you. And we're going to do a little book review on the 4 books that I bought. Well, if you guys are ready, without further ado, let's just jump right in. I'll start off by showing you my WIPs, my works in progress, followed by my FOs, finished objects. We'll go over the books that I purchased at Clinch River Yarns, and I will put a link in the description box for Robin's Etsy shop so you can check out her hand-dyed yarns and all that she has to offer. And I will also put a link in the description box to Clinch River Yarns so you can check out the shop and their website. And I'll also put the link to their blog. They have a blog which is also very good called 2 U's on the River. U spelled E-W-E-S. Christmas to use on the river. Isn't that like, that's just the best name, I think. Anyway, so let's get started. For the works in progress, or from now on, we're going to just refer to them as WIPs. So whip, 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 crack, crack. Another design by Miss Joyce Paget, Jay's Knit and Pearl Jam, from episode 152. It is her turtleneck fall topper. I started making this way before I even moved to California, from California to Tennessee, and was going to give it to my mom for Christmas. And with everything going on, I'd knit 3 or 4 rows, and then I'd stop to do other things, and then I wouldn't pick it back up for several days. Well, the whole point of how Joyce suggests in the pattern to have 2 sets of needles, and you have the back on one set and the front on one set, so that you can work a little as you go if you want to or whatever, so you're not, well, I didn't do that as I got carried away making the back. And I had already did the ribbing for the front, so that was done. I did both ribbings on both sets of hooks. Then I did the back up to where the stopping point is. Now I'll do the front to that stopping point and putting in the lace pattern, and then go back and do the ribbing for the neck edge and the shoulders. But let me show that to you. Again, it's episode 152, turtleneck fall topper, pattern by Joyce Paget of Jay's Knit and Pearl Jam. Hey, Joyce. Your projects are, I just keep wanting to do more of them because they're just wonderful and they're easy and just beautiful. Anyway, that being said, let's pull the back out of the bag and show you the back. Now, first I'll tell you that this is going to be in white, and when you see the back, you'll see the stripe on the bottom. Okay, and when you go and watch her video, if you're going to check out this pattern, the front, the stripe is up here and it's wider with the lace pattern. But this is the yarn, and I don't remember, I got it at Michael's or Joann's, but it's a variegated, so it changes colors, but I may not end up with this same coloring here that's the stripe on the back on the front. I may and I may not. That being said, the back is still on the needles. And my needles, by the way, these are, I got them at Hobby Lobby. I love them. And I just bought individual and ended up with a whole set, and then bought a case from Knit Picks on Amazon. But they're wooden, and they're Knitter's Pride, the Pro line. So Knitter's Pride Pro, and I forget what the color's called. And I've got my tips on there so I don't lose my stitches. But they're wonderful. And then the cables, they're interchangeable. So here is the back, okay, all the way from where the waist will be up to the shoulder. And I don't know how well you can see this. I'm trying to hold it so you can see it straight up and down. We got our border, and then 1 by 1 ribbing on the bottom, and it comes down. I'm going to turn it sideways, but to the beautiful lace pattern, which is the stripe. And again, this same lace pattern, but wider, will be on the front. Now, so this is the back with this much yarn left, because I didn't start with a full thing of yarn. The yarn, I had originally bought it to make a shawl for a good friend of mine for her birthday back in October, and I thought, oh, I'm going to need a ton of yarn. So I bought, when you see them, because they were on sale for $6 at Joann's, regularly $11 or $12, I bought 2 of them. I didn't even use half of the first one. So the remainder of that has gone into this, and now I've started the second big thing of yarn for the front, and I'll be stuck with a bunch left over, so there'll be another project in the making. Okay, so here we have the back of the front, which, as you can see, I'm only this far, and I've got to go from the bottom edge up 12 inches before I start the lace pattern section of the pattern. Also, I have figured out, and some people love them, some people don't, I'm not a huge fan of the clover bamboo needles. I know a lot of people love them. They're great, especially for older people, arthritis and so on, because it holds the yarn, or as the terminology is used in knitting, drag. It's called drag. So someone will say, did it have a lot of drag, or how was the drag? For me, Not so much when I'm knitting, but when I'm purling, it's it's really slowing me down. There's so much drag. It's like I can't get the stitches pushed up the needle. So if anybody has any suggestions, however, that's why I went out and bought my wooden set of needles. On the top, and I never would have thought of this, so again, I thank Joyce for this little tip, um, is go to your local dollar store, Dollar Tree, whatever, and I got a pack of 6 for 99 cents. Didn't even have to cut them. They're pencil grips, okay? And so if you don't want to have to keep spending $5, $6 for a set of 2 sets of needle point tips, protectors, this works perfectly fine. Just put it over your needles, and now your project doesn't come off, and you're good to go. Put it in the bag. For the yarn, this is the wonderful yarn that I was talking about that I bought 2 of thinking to make a shawl, because I wasn't thinking it. This is my friends on the, let's just say, very Rubenesque, very pleasingly plump, as she says when she chuckles. She says, "Oh, I'm pleasingly plump." Well, anyway, so that's why I tended to buy more yarn, because I was designing something for her and I didn't know how much I was going to need. But it's Lion brand, and it's the Pound of Love. Okay, it's a whole lot of love going on there, let me tell you. Anyway, it is 16 ounces, 454 grams, 1,020 yards. So I had 2,040 yards. I could have made a dozen shawls. Anyway, a 932 meters. It's a 4 medium. They recommend an 8 knitting needle, US 8, or a J crochet hook. I am doing these, the vest I am doing on a US 9, 5.5 millimeter. That is what Joyce recommends in her design with her pattern. So that's what I'm doing. Anyway, so there it is. And when I get it finished, I will show a finished picture of it in the next video. And before I forget, the buttons I found at Hobby Lobby, because when this is connected, it's connected from the arm down. The front connects to the back, but it's not, you don't button and unbutton it. It's a pullover, but the buttons are sewn down the sides, so it looks like it's buttoned. So I figured, because of this yarn, where'd it go? Because of this yarn having all these colors that's going to be in the lace pattern, I thought this picked up the colors nicely. It's got some purples, it's got some blues, it's got some of the orange and the red. So what do you think about that? I thought that was going to look nice, going down the side of the white. So the finished objects. So here's a scarf I finished about a week ago. And hold it up and you can see it. And I love the yarn. I don't remember, I believe it was Lion brand. It may have been it may have been one of the Karen cakes, but I don't think so. Anyway, and it's just a simple V-stitch. Let me hold it up a little closer, you can see the pattern. And I think it came out really nice. It fits nice. Just kind of, you know, whichever. In fact, I wore it when I went to have my driver's license changed over for the state of Tennessee. I wore it in my driver's license picture with a different top. Of course, I didn't wear my sweater, but it actually came out looking nice in the picture. It was actually the first like driver's license picture that was ever taken of me that looked really decent. Usually, and you know how they are, they usually don't really show the best side of us. They don't really do us justice, do they? Anyway, so there's one FO. Yeah, let's see what else I got in the stash to share with you. Oh, so this, I had some scrap yarn left from another project that I had done a long time ago, and I ran across it, and it was enough to do a hat. Get up closer so you can see the, there. And I did a matching scarf to go with it. A little on the narrow side, but I didn't want to run out of yarn. So there we go. Anyway, not bad for trying to keep busy after just making a move and trying to get settled in and everything else. But what can I say? I got to crochet. And if we wait a bit, I'll start to knit. Wow, that was clever. Did I just make a rhyme? Wow. Anyway, okay, so on to the next. I'm such a dork. Anyway, okay, so this, now there's a little story behind this. The yarn, prior to leaving California, I helped a friend of mine who does estate sales to go and help, set up the rooms and organize and get ready for the estate sales. And there was a bag with a bunch of scrap yarn and another bag that had some partial crochet and knitted projects that whomever had passed away, used to knit and crochet, and now the family was having this estate sale. And so this was just a bag that I guess they said they didn't care what happened to it. And so she had it sitting, in a certain pile with that type of stuff, as far as stuff that could be trashed or Goodwill or what have you if it didn't sell. And so she said, make her an offer on the whole bag of yarn and if I wanted the other stuff. So I gave her $5 for both bags. And in there, in one of the bags, was one full skein and about 3/4 of another skein of this. It's obviously Red Heart Super Saver because it's really rough. And I don't even know why they still make Super Saver. It's got to be the worst thing to make any kind of garments out of because it scratches your skin. And now that they're coming out with Red Heart with Love and all the other ones, I would think they would either improve on the Super Saver with the technology we have and make it soft, or just not have Super Saver, because you knitters and crocheters know it's okay to make things like a placemat or things like that, but it is not the best thing to make sweaters or scarves, especially beanies and hats. Red Hearts, it scratches your head. Anyway, but I love the Red Heart with Love, and I love Red Heart Simply Soft. Anyway, or Red Heart Soft. I'm thinking of Karen. Anyway, in this bag was these skeins of full and partial yarn of this variegated. And then there were these long strips. They're about maybe 2.5 inches wide, and rounded on the corners. Whatever the pattern was, looks like some puff stitches, not puff stitches, clusters, whatever. And I thought, I can do something with these with the extra yarn. So I took, and after I got back here to Tennessee and was sitting around a couple days after Christmas, I guess it was, I started saying I wanted to fiddle around with something. So I pulled it out. I stitched or crocheted the 2 strips together, 2 of the 3 strips, and then added a middle section to be decorative, threw a border on there, a border around the edges, gave it a shape on the one side. As you can see, I did some points. Can we see that? See if it's going to focus. I hope it's in focus. And did a little fringe. The back side, I just rounded the corners and did a little fringe. So it's going to clash with my sweater, but I'll give you an idea. Anyway, another project finished and yarn used. So it wasn't originally my stash, but it became part of my yarn stash, and now it's no longer. Oh, I still have the full skein of yarn and a little bit of the partial skein, so I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I'll figure something out. Let's see what else I got to show you now on finished projects. Oh, when I went to Clinch River Yarns for the first time last week, I saw she had a clearance wall with some different yarns, and a lot of them were the higher end yarns. And then I saw Red Heart Holiday. Okay, and this is the colorway. It just says color 1360. Let's see if it says, oh no, colorway Aaron/gold. And it is, let's see where we're at here. It's a 4 medium. It calls for size 8 on US knitting needles or an H crochet hook. And where is our yardage? It's 3.5 ounces, 100 grams, and it's 235 yards. Anyway, she had a basket on the clearance wall with 2 of this color and 6 or 8 of a dark, almost a forest green with the gold spun in. I don't know if you can see the gold in this. And so I said, you know what? I'm going to do something with this. So I got both of these. I got one of the green, and I still haven't obviously used this one. I have a little bit left of the first one, and I have the whole skein of green, and so I'll do something else. But this is what I came up with. Started it yesterday morning, finished it last night, and I did a neck warmer for my mom. And so I'm showing you the back only because I want to show you the front in a minute, because what I made to hang from it's a surprise. Anyway, so you can fold down the ribbed collar, and in the front I made a little, actually I went to Hobby Lobby this morning because I got an email that they had a sale on some of the jewelry things. So 2 of the brands were 50% off, for jewelry notions and little pendants and charms and pins and clasps and but those 2 brands, whatever they were. I think one was called Metalworks, if I'm correct. Anyway, the 50% off. So I grabbed 3 or 4 things and paid $1.50, $2 a piece for them after the discount. Anyway, so on the front of this now, and I put the clasp on. So now on the front hangs this beautiful little pendant. Gives it some color. And I just added the jump rings and the clasp to the pendant. The pendant this is the one I paid $1.50 for, 50% off. So it was regularly $3. Anyway, so my mom tried it on. She loved it. She said it fit her perfectly, and she didn't even know I was making it, so I didn't measure her neck. I just kind of guessed. So, one really, really wonderful finished project. And I'm going to give you the reference to the episode so you can check it out yourself. Miss Joyce Paget over at Jay's Knit and Pearl Jam. I've done several of her projects, crocheted, and a couple of the knitted ones getting started. She had a crocheted vest. I saw the video a while back, and I don't know what brought it to my... I remember what brought it to my mind. I was sitting outside a couple weeks ago in the morning having my coffee, and there was a bunch of birds around the bird feeder. And at the same time, there was one of the birds, the coloring of the birds made me think of springtime. And I thought, oh, wait a minute. I think Joyce did something about, so I went and scrolled through her videos, and she had a vest that she had created and designed called Where the Wild Flowers Grow Spring Vest. And it's episode number 85. So if you go over to Jay's Knit and Pearl Jam, look for episode number 85, Where the Wild Flowers Grow Spring Vest. Now, when I decided to make this for my mom, and I just told her it was one of her other Christmas presents, but it was going to be late, so that I had another one for her. So when I decided to do this, I scratched off my original idea, which was something else I was going to make for her and give it to her, after the new year, because I knew it would take me a while. Anyway, I went down to Hobby Lobby, and sure enough, they had the exact same yarn, exact same color that Joyce had used for her original one. That's the one that she is modeling and wearing in the very beginning of the video. So without further ado, let me bring it out and show it to you. And it's got the beautiful crab stitch coming down the end and around the bottom. It just adds a nice touch. And coming over here to the sleeves, it's got the crab stitch on the sleeve edging as well. There's your border, the neck edge, and in the middle on the inside, so you can see what is the inside versus the outside, I've put a little button, like a lot of people do. And I got that idea from Miss Joyce. So I say, thank you for that idea, Joyce. Great idea, and I'm adopting it. With much love to you. Well, I hope you enjoyed seeing my WIPs and FOs. And now, I'll show you a little surprise. We all like surprises, don't we? While I was at the sale yesterday at Clinch River Yarns, and I was the first one to get there because I didn't want to miss out, not when she had told me the books were going to be $3. And I didn't need any more stitch books. So I was hoping that they were design books as far as, teaching new techniques or that type of thing. Not so much patterns, but stuff like techniques that I could learn. I'm talking about for knitting, not for crocheting, so that I could further my skills. Also, while I was there, she had hanging up, and I didn't notice it when I was there last week. She had hanging up a shawl designed by Stephen West. So if you guys aren't familiar with Stephen West, check him out. Very eccentric, very bright colors, exquisite, wonderful designer. So, and when I get a little more confident in my knitting, like I said, I'm going to be starting with the ribbed Dicky first because it looks like it's simple. I've downloaded and purchased the pattern off of Ravelry. You can also find me now on Ravelry, Ravelry.com under the Needling Hooker. And I don't quite have a lot of my project page yet, but I'm building that. While I was there and getting the books and everything else, I saw some yarn that I liked, and this is my first time of buying high-end yarn, so I'm going to share that with you. And she was super, super nice. If you buy in the shop, if you buy the yarn in the shop there, they will wind it for you on the yarn winder. And so it went from being in a hank to being in a cake when I left. So I had got 2 skeins of a brown color. I'm going to show you a beautiful color that I want to make a neck warmer with for myself. Another pattern that Joyce just designed and came out with not too long ago. I won't say just because it was a while back. And again, when I show that finished project in maybe the next video, I will put a link, not a link, but a episode number for you for that, so you can look that up. But anyway, and then I saw this other yarn that was kind of silky, kind of, I don't know, just the colors were wonderful. It's got like maybe 3 or 4 colors in it that I could see in the hank. Now, once it was spun or wound into the cake, you can't really tell all the colors it's going to have. It's got some greens and such, but you get an idea. And I thought, okay, there's going to be something that I'm going to love to most likely knit with this, not crochet. So I'm going to show you those. I'm going to tell you what yarns they are, and let me grab that. From Clinch River Yarn Company. Can you see the bag? I hope it's focusing. Okay. So the first thing, and when I was leaving, let me show you this first because it's on the top of the bag. When I was getting ready to leave yesterday and I'd already paid for everything, there was a bowl sitting on top of the counter by the register, and there was 3 skeins left in it, and they were only $1.99. So I bought them. They were regularly $7.95. So there's 3 of these. Can you see? And it is, I had it upside down. Does that help if I turn it right side up? Either that or you guys all take a minute and stand on your head, whichever's more comfortable for you. Anyway, this is Sandnes, Sandnes, Sandnes alpaca. And the colorway just says 9334 on the sticker. It's the sticker from the shop is covering up what was written on the label there, so I can't see the actual colorway, but it has the color number 9334, and it is, let's see, let me look on another skein and see if I can find the info that we want. We want to know what size it is. I want to say it's a number 3 fine. Oh, here, let me see if I can peel. See if I can, well, maybe. No, that doesn't help me. I was going to try to peel off the sticker to see if I could see. Let's try the third one. Well, on the back where it shows the pair of knitting needles, it just says 3.5, but if you can see that. But it's not listing a crochet hook size. And it's 100% Ren alpaca, so it's pure alpaca, 100%. It's 50 grams. Here we go. It's 50 grams, 110 meters, but it doesn't tell me how many yards. So there's that now, which is going to be one of the neck warmers, and I'm pretty sure I'll have enough. Next, The brown that I purchased, and this is it's got a slight sheen to it. It's very soft. It's extremely soft. And she was so nice and put the color band or the yarn band in here, and I think it's the same. I don't want to mess it up if it's not. Okay, it's the same, because I don't want to take it out of here if I don't have to until I'm ready to use it. Okay, so it is. There was 2 hanks. Both hanks became 1 cake. So this is worse. It's 100% superwash fine merino wool. So superwash, for those of you that don't know, superwash means that it can be washed, even in warm or hot water, and it will not shrink, but you do not want to put it in a dryer. You want to wring it out further in a towel after you wash and then let it dry flat. This is by Plymouth Select. It was originally $14.99 per hank, and I got it for $3.75 on the sale. And the colorway just says the number 9. Let's see what else we got here. And Plymouth Yarn Company Incorporated. They're located in Bristol, Pennsylvania. And their website, if you want to go and check this out, again, it's color number 9, colorway, is www.plymouthyarn.com. This calls for a US 7 knitting needle, and the gauge is 5 stitches per inch. This is 100 grams, approximately 218 yards, excuse me. And then it says, for best results, machine wash gentle cycle. Oh, it does say tumble dry low, although if it's any blend of wool or 100% wool, I would let it dry flat. I wouldn't even put it on tumble dry low, because sometimes we don't have the best of luck and it's going to shrink anyway. That's just the way the universe works sometimes. So anyway, got that. That's going to be the other neck warmer I'm going to make for myself. This is the yarn that I was describing, and you can't see how it changes color, but inside the cake, it's gonna start turning green, some pale, almost like a mint green. But you see the shine on it. It's got a beautiful sheen, and I want to say this is a number 3 light. It's not quite a fingering weight. It's closer to a 3 light. This one I do have to remove the card because, all right, because she put them both in there. Let's see. Let's get one back in here. There we go. Okay, so this is no. Okay, so this, I'm going to try to read everything on the label for you here, and some of the stuff I may not be able to pronounce. It is, I can't pronounce this. I'm going to spell it for you. Well, I'll show it to you, and then I'll spell it for you if you can't see it, if it's not in focus. Okay, it's ARAUCANIA yarns, and below that it says ALUMCO, and then it says MOP something word for a reflection on the water. Okay, then it says hand painted cotton viscose blend, VISCOSE, viscose blend. Okay, this is it's a number 3 light. It's 50% cotton and 50% viscose. It's 3.52 ounces. It's 100 grams for one hank. It's 215 yards and 197 meters. So again, there's 2 hanks in here. So with 2 hanks in here, I have 430 yards. I have probably 7.4 ounces. I have 200 grams for both hanks into the cake. Suggested knitting gauge and needles, 18 to 20 stitches and 4 inches over stockinette stitch on a US size 6 needle, which is 4 to 4.5 millimeter. Suggested crochet gauge and hooks, 12 to 17 stitches, /4 inches over single crochet on a US 7 to 9. So a 9 is an I hook. 4.5 to 5.5. Oh, here we go. 4.5 to 5.5 millimeter hooks. So anyway, and then it says, as there are no dye lots, we recommend buying enough yarn at one time to complete each individual project. Knit with 2 hands in assorted rows, 2 through 4. This will assure an overall blend effect. I may have to try that. Anyway, oh, here's a better name on the yarn. And it was originally $10 and a penny. And again, I think I got this for $3.75 also on the sale. But here is the name on the sticker for the yarn company. And of course, Clinch River, this is their sticker for the shop. But the above information is for the yarn. So you can Google that, look it up, what have you. And this is colorway number 10. So that being said, I'll be right back and show you the books that I purchased. While I was at the sale at Clinch River Yarns yesterday, I mentioned I got some hardcover books, $3 a piece, good deal. So I'm going to quickly share those with you, and I'll do an in-depth book review on them at a later time when I do a full-on book review video. But I'm just going to touch on them for you now. So the first one we have is called One Skein Wonders. It's 101 Yarn Shop favorites. There's patterns in here for basically 101 items. So the book basically, oh, first let me tell you the price. I got it for $3. It was originally $18.95 US, $24.95 Canada. It's in brand new condition. It's got things, slouchy hat. It's got Monica's flowers. Let's see what, oh, it's got a wonderful, the DOT Michelle, it's the top. Here's some of the pictures. There's pictures of all the items in here. It's just some wonderful items. It's a beautiful shawl. Some felted projects like this purse. A felted purse. A lot of felted projects in here. There's a beautiful knitted hat. And all the patterns are in this book. I'll give you an idea. Easy mittens. So, not bad for $3. The next one is called One Skein, and it's 30 quick projects to knit and crochet, and this is by Leigh Radford. Can you see it? My finger's not in the way. And this is basically some projects for knitting and crocheting. Pillows with mohair, beautiful little baby jacket, baby bib. What else? Some more handbags, some more caps. Ooh, this is adorable. Little baby sweater. Okay. Let me go through here. And this is a picture of the author, Leigh Radford. All right. Next wonderful purchase. Oh, and I didn't tell you the price on that book. Brand new. It was $26.95 Canada, $19.95 US. I got it for $3 at the sale. This next one is called Last Minute Knitted Gifts, and it is by Jolie Hoverson. Photographs by Anna Williams. And this one, I could not find a price anywhere in there for the retail price, but $3, and it's hardcover. And wonderful. Look at this. A chevron scarf. Beautiful sweater to knit. Little animals. Let's see if I find something else. And then it's got wonderful descriptions and diagrams. Wonderful hats. What else? Some felted baby booties. So not bad. And the last one really caught my eye. This, again, paid $3. And the original price, $21.95 US, $29.95 Canada. And it is called, it's by Vicky Square, and it's called Folk Hats. It's 32 knitting patterns and tales from around the world. So they're hats from around the world, like the traditional dress or costume, as they say, of a country like Sweden or Norway or Icelandia, etc., etc. One of my favorites that I found to look at, the Four Winds hat. It tells you, like, now this is from Germany, the Hunter's Fedora from Germany. From France, this is the Frontiere from France. The Ruffled Dignity from Cameroon. And it even has wonderful charts. For those of you that follow charts and not written patterns, it's got wonderful colored charts. The Yoruba bird from Nigeria. Isn't that something? But yeah, it's just chock full of all kinds of Bolivian derby from Bolivia. Gives you a nice size on there. But we'll do a further review when I do an actual book review video. I'll start out with those. So I mentioned that I purchased the stainless steel knitting needles from Hiya Hiya from Clinch River Yarns. And I'm going to verbally describe them and go over them with you and all that without me in the camera, because I want to be able to do a nice close-up for you so you can see the needles. They come in a beautiful case. So that's coming up. So stay tuned, and we'll be right back with that. All right, time for the Hiya Hiya knitting needle display. Now look, isn't this a beautiful case? And they come in different colors. She had the red one in stock. Before I open it up, I'll say this, Hiya Hiya, you can find them online and on Amazon. They split their sets in a small set and a large set. The small set contains US needle size 2 through 8, and the large set contains 9 through, I believe it's 15 or 17. The set comes with rubber grips to twist on your cables. It comes with 4 cables, I believe a 16-inch, a 24-inch, a 32-inch, and a 40-inch. It also comes with a adapter to connect cables. So if you need longer than a 40-inch, you can connect a 40 on one end and your 32 on the other end. Now you have a 72-inch cable. Okay, so you can do that. The small set that goes up through US number 8, the cable, the end of the cables that the needle screws into and the end of the needles, which I'll show you, are small, as opposed to the large set, the 9 up to the 15 or 17. The end of the cables on the large cables, the cable size is exactly the same, but the ends of the cable are a larger circumference, and the piece at the end of the needle that screws into that is larger. However, they make an adapter to screw into the small cable and then screw a large needle tip into the other end. In fact, as soon as I'm done explaining this to you, I'm heading down there to pick that up. She had to order that for me, and I went ahead and I purchased a 9 and a 10 in case I ever need to use a 10. My go-to sizes so far are the 8 and the 9 size needles. So I figured since there's space to put them in the case, I'd get a 9 and a 10, and then that adapter, and then I'm set. It was $89, I believe, for the small set, and same price for the large. They do have a deluxe set, but again, not needing all those other sizes, I figured save some money. Anyway, that being said, let's open it up and show you what we got. Wonderful design. Oh, this is first, let me show you. This is the back with a zipper pouch. And in there, here are the cables, by the way. You get a 16-inch, a 32-inch. Oh, let's not forget 24. You get a 24 and a 40. And I will open up the 16 just because it's smaller and easier to show you without... Wait, this is the tip that the needles screw into, and you see how it's... Let me get this going the right way. See how it's small? Okay, it does have the hole, and it comes with a T-pin to put in there and attach your needle tips, but it also comes with rubber grips to do it this way. Okay, so, and the cables they're wonderful, they're good and strong. So you get those 4 cables with the set. All right, now let's open it up and see inside. So first of all, it has another zipper pouch. And in there, you get this cute little needle size lammy. See? Hiya, hiya. And you get the 2 rubber grips. Hiya, hiya. For doing your needles. And then this is the T-pin, and then this is the adapter, if you can see it. This is the adapter to put a cable on either end so you can extend your cable and have a really long cable for the size of your project, whatever the size you would need. All right. Okay, so this is the small set. These spaces are left empty. These pockets are left empty, so you can add into it. Size 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, they're stainless steel. They're wonderful. They're very light. They're not heavy. And they're the sharp tip. They come in regular tip, but these are the sharp tip, which Sandy, one of the owners of the shop, told me that they sell the majority of the sharp tip is what they sell. Now, let me see if I can get a close-up. This end here, we're going to focus. Let me see if I can get that focused. Maybe not. Anyway, this is the end that would screw into your cable, and this is the end that on the large needles, 9 and above, is bigger. That's why I have to buy the adapter. Anyway, so we have the 2, we have the 3, the 4, 5, 6, 7, and the 8, which again, they're very light, and they are stainless steel, and they're sharp, but they're not too sharp. As far as you're not going to hurt yourself unless you stab yourself. And the case is just absolutely beautiful. Wonderful, beautiful stitch working. It's got a knotted closure to close it up, like so. And again, and this video is not being sponsored by or is not affiliated in any way with Hiya Hiya. I'm just sharing the needles that I purchased. Same with the yarn. I'm not being sponsored by any of the yarn companies, at least not at this moment. So just to let you know, I looked at some Addi needles. A lot of people use Addi. A lot of people use what's the other Chowgu, and she had some Addis. I saw the Chowgus online, and I know a lot of people that I follow online use the Chowgus and the Addis. There's pros and cons to both. I've heard from other podcasts that they like this about this kind and this about that kind and vice versa. But I've yet to hear anybody mention Hiya Hiya. So I'm saying give it a try. I've used them so far with a small project the other day just to test them out, so not really a project, and I loved the way they knit. I loved the way they felt in my hands. They were very light, they were not cumbersome, very easy to use, and there was no drag whatsoever. The yarn moved beautifully. So here's the 9-inch needles that I just picked up this afternoon. The 5.5 millimeter, 9-inch, 5-inch in length from Hiya Hiya. They're the sharp steel interchangeable needles, and now we'll see the adapter that will connect them to the small cable, since I'm going to be using them with my small set, which is sizes 2 through 8. And here's the adapter, and I'll take it out of the package. So this is the adapter that will connect onto the small cable, and on the big end we'll put the needle tip. Let me show you one that's already done. So here we have the 9-inch needle with the adapter already screwed onto it, ready to go onto the cable. Here is the needle tip without the adapter. And now we're going to add the adapter. And that will go on here. Okay, be right back. Now both needles are ready to connect to the cable. And this is what it looks like after the adapter has been put on. And here is the sharp point. They're definitely sharp, which will be great for getting into the stitches. And here we have it labeled right on the needle. Haya, sharp, US 9, 5.5 millimeters. Happy needling and hooking. I'm Tom, and again, thanks for watching The Needling Hooker.